Hey, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. Yesterday, there was a big event that happened in the news, and that was the Durham Report was released, finally. There's already been some fallout. There's some comparisons to be had between 17 posts and this event. I've made a compilation that you can access by clicking the Facebook link to this video description box. You can see what I've gathered. It's by no means all the information that's out there, but it may be a helpful start. So let's take a look at what I'm referring to when I mention that the Durham Report has been released. Oh, and before we do, there's been alt media chatter that Durham is actually being played by the actor Bruce Willis. I don't intend to go there in this read. I want to look at the report and see what possible ramifications it may have moving forward for some geopolitical changes. And that's, to me, what's more important than who is playing the part of Durham. But to be careful when I do the read, I will ask for the person seen in the public eye as John Durham, just in case we are truly looking at a version 2.0 or a stand-in or something like that. So with that said, let's go to the compilation. It's kind of lengthy today. I'll try to do it as quickly as I can. Again, you'll always have the ability to go to it and look at it in more depth, okay? All right, well, again, sometimes this is the Punisher logo, if you're not familiar with some of the Q terminology and things like that. And there's been some comparisons between his picture and the Punisher. I just thought that was kind of interesting and thought I'd share that. Now, over here with the compilation always shows up in the comments. Okay, first item. There's something very interesting about Durham, the drops in Durham's report release date, done in 30, okay? And that was from 17 drop number 815876, okay? And 30 months, it's been exactly 30 months. So he presented his report to, unfortunately, the very corrupt Merrick Garland. It's perfect proof again that 17 has some knowledge of future events. Over and over again, we do see that. And by the way, my little comment about Merrick, that wasn't part of this quote. It's just my personal opinion that the man is very, very corrupt and inefficient and is not working for the good of justice or the American people, as with so many in places of authority. Now, I've got a Twitter link for you here. Let's go to it real quickly. It mentions that General Paul Nakasone is going to step down as NSA director, okay? And this was right after the Durham report came out. There is a lot of alt media chatter that this stepping down has nothing to do with the fact that there's nothing to question this man's character at all, okay? But this will free him up to testify, okay, once he has stepped down from that position. He was, okay, in charge of the Cyber Command and the NSA during the 2020 election. And he may have some interesting information to lay out for us, okay? All right, so, like I said, I'm not thinking his step down is because he has anything that we need to be thinking was nefarious or not in the best interest of the country. Now, here's another 17 drop. Okay, 3969. We are far beyond the need for proofs. You have more than you know. Durham start, then the letter 17, OP start. Okay, so is the 17 operations commencing? Okay, with this? That's what we're going to be asking the cards today, a variation of that item right there. Now, moving on, another 17 post. Future proofs past, okay? Back in 2018, we were told to remember the name Kash Patel. He has proven himself to be solidly in Mr. T's camp. Seems to be very close to 17 information. And I love this compilation here he's got. The Durham Report verdicts, FBI guilty, DOJ guilty, IC guilty, on and on and on and on and on. And look who's innocent. Ah, as a Representative Lauren Boebert said, how many times do we have to say, he was right, he was right, he was right. Okay, I've linked an article from the Gateway Pundit who has numerous articles about the Durham Report and things that can be happening from that. Now, understand, I'm not giving a blanket endorsement to Gateway Pundit, okay? But they do have some decent articles about this item of information, okay? Now, here's a thought that was picked up in chatter on alt media, okay? This set of documents released on the 15th, plus prior documents submitted to the court during the 2 trials, plus the sworn testimony of all during the other Durham trials makes the RICO case against the entire FBI. All of that is all that material is now available for use by all agencies, including military lawyers for military trials. Okay, that's where we still have some avenues for true justice, is through our military tribunal system. Okay. Now, if you'd like to read the Durham Report, I have included a link here. There's 306 pages, and interestingly enough, there's a 29-page appendix that is not, it's confidential. So there's a lot to be seen in that 306 pages, and there's 29 that are even more spicy. And then this 17 drop says pain is coming. Let's find out. So we're going to ask the cards, ask the universe, okay, respectfully. Is the Durham Report going to bring forth any significant changes in the geopolitical landscape, or will there be, including but not limited to, legal proceedings and trials? So let's see, what is the likely outcome of the release of this Durham Report? What can we expect, looking forward to see as a result of this release of the Durham Report? Let's find out. Yes, I'm going to ask about the report and totally bypass the person involved. So we'll ask about the Durham Report, and then we won't have to worry about who actually prepared it, presented it, or anything else. It is called the Durham Report. We'd like information and insights about the Durham Report, and just find out, is this the catalyst for pain is coming that has been spoken of so often in 17 posts? First card is the 7 of Wands. It is going to kick off some events. Oh boy, is it. Then we have the 9 of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups. I'll take care of that glare before after I get the cards all distributed, okay? Hang on, because I don't stop the camera at this point. We have the 3 of Wands, events, events, events. We have the Fool, 2 of Pentacles, the Tower. Okay, it is getting interesting. Hey, here are some of the insights I'm getting from the cards. We were asking what the possible ramifications of this report. Is it going to kick off the pain is coming that we read about in 17 drops? Absolutely, it is. Moving forward, it is going to contribute to Tower moments. Okay. So far, though, I'm not seeing any of the big ones that made me laugh, like the Justice card or Judgment card. But let's look at what we've got. Situation. We have events happening, and this is a determination card and also operating from the high ground. So this report was prepared with good, tight security and no leaks. That was excellent, and that was almost unheard of in this chaotic world we're in right now. Okay, this compilation, this 306-page report, they had to dig in a lot of places and get some information, and some of it, there was some resistance to getting that information. There still is. I hear that the three-letter agency that starts with F is refusing to release a document that they're supposed to have released, and that may actually end up making it possible for military intervention. What do you know about that? And we do want some military intervention. We do, because we've got to do away with the old before we can get on with the new. The recent past, we have the Queen of Cups, emotional intelligence. Okay, there was very strategic, the release of this report when it was released and the preparation of it. Good strategy on their part. We're going to be looking at things in the future in a new way. We know that anyway. I mean, just as our world changes, but here in the United States, geopolitically, this is going to change the landscape a little bit. We'll be moving forward with a clear vision into some changes. Okay, I say that also because we've got the Fool showing up here for the near future, which is always when you're starting out on a new path, in somewhat in faith, but definitely with energy, anticipation, and joy. Okay, now we've got the Two of Pentacles here, which sometimes shows a 50-50 balance or a quandary a little bit. I think what we're going to do is those of us that have high hopes for having for clearing house all across the board aren't going to see the outcome that you might expect. Those with some reasonable expectations that this will result in some changes, some moving forward, and possibly some military tribunal publicly happening, may be quite pleased. And that's bolstered by the thought here with the Tower moment showing up. This report is going to create some Tower moments on the geopolitical scene. Let's take a look at a couple other cards, see if we get some more insights, knowing that these cards are going to say moving forward, but not quite as impactful as these, where again, with some reasonable hopes, we'll be pleased with the results. And regardless, it's going to contribute to some Tower moments on our geopolitical landscape. Another Wands card, the Five of Wands, some strife and conflict. Fives usually indicate temporary nature, okay? So not long lasting if there are some resistance to events or indictments or what have you, isn't going to be successful or last for very long. And the Hermit, just reminding us that we have some off-world help. I think even on our geopolitical scene, as we affect some changes there, it's up to us to make them happen, but we'll be blessed in the process. I'm going to keep going with a couple more cards and see if we have. Again, blessings are going to show up. We have the World card showing up here, another major arcana. That's four major arcanas in this read. And then the Nine of Cups. Ultimately, we're going to be 90% pleased with how this Durham report changes the geopolitical landscape. Some of the people that will publicly, maybe they've already privately been dealt with, but there's going to be some public awareness. We've got the world watching now. So this may be the way to close those loops of things that have already happened behind the scene, accountability that's already been affected. And then a 2.0 is allowed to act as that person for a period of time. This may help close some of those loops where that has happened. Okay, let's recap. And Allie's in the background. She's been helping whether you knew it or not. She walked around behind the computer while I was doing the tarot read. She was upending a trash can, which was, thank goodness, empty down below. So who knows if we've seen the last of her in this video. Okay, we were asking about the Durham report, not the person seen in the public eye as Mr. Durham. We asked if this Durham report release is going to set off some events that include some justice, some indictments, charges, just changes in the geopolitical landscape here in the United States. We definitely got a yes with that because the Tower moment came up showing for the near future, which would be some of the moving forward, the results we'd have. Okay, we also had the Fool card show up in the near future. Then as we pulled a few extra cards, we got that there would be some pushback, some stalling and some strife regarding actions to be taken as a result of this Durham report, but they would be temporary in nature, that ultimately the changes in the geopolitical landscape in the United States are going to help contribute to changes across our entire world. And we're going to be pretty happy with the outcome when this all gets done. So this isn't going to be a nothing burger that those with something to fear and hide are hoping for. And again, this may, as I said when I was during the read, this may be that opportunity to what I call close the loop. I personally believe that there have been some military tribunals and processing of treasonous individuals for the last few years, since 2018. But those have been done quietly and behind the scenes. Now we have to close those loops up and let people see, here were the charges against this person, here is what they were found guilty or innocent of, and here is what happened to them. So our beloved normies may think it's happening now when it's already happened, but we have to at some point close those loops and get those counterfeit people, those imposters, out of those positions and get our world back on track. And I would like to encourage everybody to use your powers of manifestation to manifest this, that all those working to bring about change, good, positive change for people, for not just my country, but for the world, that they also be filled with a heart of knowing that they're doing this and probably working themselves out of a job. That if they're currently being paid on a government payroll, our government is going to be much smaller if this all finishes the way it should. Okay? That we won't have need for the behemoth of governments that we have right now. And we need people that are okay with that are okay with working themselves out of a job because it's good for Earth, it's good for humanity, it's good for a path moving forward that's much better for all of us. I'm not wishing permanent unemployment on anybody. We'll just have to rock and roll with some changes. But I want people that are truly in the white hat camp to be so successful that they work themselves out of a job and they're okay with that. They don't see a power vacuum and an opportunity to slide in there and fill it, okay? We really need some systemic changes that are so genuine that some positions are irrelevant, unneeded, and just not going to be part of our world moving forward. So let's pray to have that kind of backbone, that kind of vision, and that kind of integrity that they can do that. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I try not to take too much of it, and I definitely don't take it for granted. So I'm always amazed that anybody's watching me. And I value you and love you more than you'll ever know. So until next time, love and light and all things bright. Bye.